What a performance from Spain, beating Costa Rica 7-0. And that urged some of you guys to request a tactic, and that is exactly why we're here today. So we do have the Spain 4-3-3, and we're going to see if we can replicate that tiki-taka in Football Manager. If you feel you're going to enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. That's going to be hugely important for this channel. You can subscribe. Also, in the comment section, like you beautiful guys have been doing, you can leave your tactical recommendations. But for now, let's kick off. And to help us create the Spain 4-3-3 tiki-taka, we do have the match report from the World Cup game against Costa Rica. As we can see, in Spain's 7-0 win over Costa Rica, Spain used a 4-3-3 with Simon in goal, Cesar Azpilicueta at right back, left back number 18, Jordi Alba. At the back, there was a surprise selection, well, Rodri playing at centre back alongside Laporte. We did have Sergio Busquets holding the midfield, Gavi and Pedri, the two talented wonder kids in midfield for Spain. On the left-hand side, Dani Olmo. On the right-hand side, Ferran Torres. Lastly, up top, we do have that false nine, Marco Asensio. Some of the key statistics from the game: Spain saw 74.6% possession of the ball. We're going to try and replicate that in Football Manager. They scored 7 goals, of course they did. They scored all 7 goals, all 7 shots that went on target, all went in the back of the net. Total passes completed: Spain completed an amazing 1,003 passes. Now that is almost impossible to replicate in Football Manager. They did complete 95% of their passes as well. Absolutely ridiculous. They completed 206 line-breaking passes. That's putting out a statement that Spain are here to be progressive. You can also see the receptions in the final third. Another signal or another sign to tell you how positive Spain were in this game. 174 receptions in the final third. Spain, of course, are a build-up team. 42% of their build-up were unimposed as well, and 16% of their possession was progression play. Looking a little lower down, looking at counter-attacks, Spain are not a counter-attacking team, which is why we see 0%. 0% of Spain's attacks in that game came from counter-attack. Now looking out of possession, Spain, we can see, used the high press. They also operated in a high block, and 15% phases of their play out of possession came from a counter press. Here we can see their width and their height during their build-up phase, progression phase, and in the final third. In their build-up phase and in progression as well, they were expansive. They stretched the pitch, they made the pitch big as possible, but in that final third, they went towards goal. The attacking shape became slightly more narrow. As we know, the two wingers were inverted. Sometimes they looked to overload the central areas, or they tried to make runs in behind. Who are responsible for Spain's line-breaking passes? Now, there's 5 players here that have completed over 20 line-breaking passes, and they are Cesar Azpilicueta, Rodri, Jordi Alba, Laporte, and Pedri. 4 of those 5 players are deeper players. So Laporte is a centre-back, Jordi Alba the left-back, Rodri the holding midfielder, and Cesar Azpilicueta the right-back on the day. Pedri, of course, coming deep, but also dictating play and trying to play-make for Spain. So this page here I find very intriguing. Here we can see the movement to receive the ball. Did the player move in front of defenders, in between? Did it come from out to in to out? Or were they making runs in behind? And I feel page is very helpful when it comes to deciding certain player roles. So for an example, Jordi Alba, he looked to receive most of the passes in front, whereas Marco Asensio looked to drop in between defenders and receive the ball as the false 9. Dani Olmo on the left hand side, he moved from out to in, which is what you kind of expect from the inverted winger, but he also made some movements in behind as well. 42 movements trying to get in behind defenders, whereas Gavi, now we can call him the Mazzala, as we can see, he's moved from in to out. So we got Gavi moving in to out, Dani Olmo moving out to in, Marco Asensio dropping deep as that false 9 looking to receive in between the lines, and Jordi Alba, the left back, looking to receive the ball in front of him. Lastly, defending, Spain's high block was very, very impressive. They forced 46 turnovers, but they also regained possession 43 times, and as we can see, for the forced turnovers, it happened in those wider areas. So possibly they were forcing the opponents out wide, and for the possession regain, it's kind of scattered all over the pitch, but that there is them regaining the possession. So that could be aerial duels or any sort of duels regaining possession. And like I said, Spain looking to force the opponents out wide, looking at their high block, their press. Look how narrow it is. Now, this could mean that Spain had a lot of plays in those central areas, again, trying to force play out into those wider areas. So that's Spain defensively going forward in possession, all wrapped up. Now we can go into Football Manager and, well, we can create this beautiful 4-3-3. So we're back in Football Manager, and what we're going to do today is create this 4-3-3. So, well, choose a formation, 4-3-3, DM wide, of course. Now, I believe we can kind of start with some of the player roles, because we just spoke a lot about how Spain played, and we also got some very, very good information. Now, for the left back, Jordi Alba, there's a few roles that we could pick. Wing back on support, wing back on attack, full back on attack, full back on support. Given this is a possession-based tactic, I'm really trying to complete as many passes as I can. So I could have went with the wing back on support or on attack, and well, we know that Jordi Alba is going to get further forward. I can even went for a fullback on attack, but I'm going to go with a fullback on support today. Mainly, again, I really want to get as much possession and complete as many passes as I can. Another player's movement that we mentioned is Gavi. Gavi was an absolute fight. I mean, Gavi and Pedri. Round of applause, round of applause. But we spoke about how we moved from in to out. So Pedri played on the right-hand side of the central midfield, and that is exactly what we're going to do. And Mezzala on support, and he is going to move from in to out. But we also spoke about the left winger, Dani Olmo. He moved from out to in, but he also got in behind. Now, we could have used a few roles, inside forward or an inverted winger. And again, I'm looking to get as many passes, complete as many passes as I want. I'm going to stress that throughout the whole video. So for Dani Olmo, we could have went with the inside forward, inverted winger, attack mainly, or we'll try to look to get in behind, but we are going to go for support. And then when the team has possession of the ball, we are looking to get further forward. Also, Marco Asensio, who played up front, we already know false 9 for Marco Asensio. So that's kind of our base. We already know 4 players role: Jordi Alba, fullback on support, Gavi, Mezzala on support, Dani Olmo, inverted winger on support, and also Marco Asensio up top, false 9 on support. Now we're going to move over to the mentality, the team instructions, and I've gone for something different. I know a lot of people would go for positive, but I've actually gone for attacking, and there's a reason why. There is a reason why. The mentality is best employed for matches where the team are favourites to win and expect to dominate possession in the opponent's half. Now that's key. Expect to win and dominate possession in the opponent's half. That's exactly what we're going to look to do. It aims to exploit space in the final third. Again, something that what we want, employing a fast tempo and more direct pass than that. We are going to tune and make it, of course, much more slower and much more patient in possession. If the team has a high chance of losing the ball by attacking, they would, however, opt to recycle the ball and retain possession. So we can still get a heavy possession based tactic using the attacking mentality, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Spain made a pitch big when they were building up, so for the attacking width, we are going to use, it's one knock to the right. I'm not sure if this is used the interface bug, but it's not actually changing, but we're going to knock it one to the right. We are also going to play out from the back, the passing directness, retain the possession. So this is going to be very patient in possession, but not just that, we really want to control the pace of the game. So when it comes to things like throw-ins and that sort of things, we don't want Spain to be rushing quickly, so time wasting is on sometimes. Final third, low crosses and work the ball into the box. What you can also do is dribble less. Actually, you can put on dribble less, but for me, I found that kind of eliminates some individual brilliance, so I've actually just left that, because a lot of these player roles don't have dribble more often. The 2 wingers will, but that's just about it. That was just about it. Only 2 players are being asked naturally to dribble more, so I didn't feel the players were just taking that initiative to run with the ball. In transition, when possession has been lost, we are of course going to counter press. When the possession has been won, we're going to leave it. I did try hold shape numerous of times. It just didn't work for me, if I'm honest with you. It weren't that effective. I felt, again, players were missing the opportunity to actually exploit the opposition. So we're just going to leave that there. We are also going to distribute the ball to the centre backs, and we are also going to take short kicks with it. Out of possession, of course, a high press for the defensive line, much higher. Trigger press all the way up, prevent the short goalkeeper distribution, but also trap on the outside. And that there is the team instructions all wrapped up. Now we can go back to the player roles and complete that. I did have to do some compromise. Well, I say compromise, it's not that big of a compromise, if I'm honest with you. For Cesar Azpilicueta, I did use a fullback on defend, and now the reason why I call it a compromise is because this is mainly because of the attacking mentality. Again, the mentality, it changes a lot. The more you go up, the higher the players will naturally look to operate, and I felt that the fullback for me on this occasion, he made it difficult for us to build out from the back because he just kept progressing and progressing, and he just didn't need to progress as often. So we are using a fullback on defend, in goal, a sweeper keeper on support, and for the defenders, we're actually just going to leave it because I feel the two centre-backs, the centre-back role on the game is very, very good in possession. Now for the DM, we are going to use a defensive midfielder on support. Not a defensive duty here, because I am going to pop up their pass network or the territories of control, and you can see the DM, he wasn't like a halfback where he dropped deep into the back two and made it a back three effectively. No, he was actually covering a lot of ground in midfield. Now, we already got the Gabri role. For the Pedri role, we are going to be using advanced playmaker on support. I felt he dictated the game very well. He was also creative. We are giving him the advanced playmaker on support, but also asking him to roam from his position. For Ferran Torres, we have given him the inverted winger on attack. And yeah, that is all the player roles. That's the team instructions all sorted. Here is the Spain 4-3-3. What I haven't tried actually is asking my two wingers. Actually, I don't want to do sit more narrow because Dani Olmo, he did make a lot of movements out to in, so I might mess things up if I change him to sit more narrow, but maybe the inside inverted winger on the right hand side can sit more narrow. So what we are going to do now is look at some of the results. I have completed the whole World Cup test, so I done the World Cup with Spain, but I also played around 12-13 games with Barcelona in La Liga just to see how the tactic was operating in a league format. So let's look at the results, shall we? Let's look at the results. Oh, we are also going to play a game after looking at the results as well, by the way. The results at Barcelona, we did play 12 games at Barcelona, 34 points, meaning we possibly not won every game. I think it's just one game that we didn't win. So if I go to the league table, yes, we played 12, we won 11, drawn 1, lost none, only conceded 17 goals. I meant 7 goals, sorry, Jesus, 17. 2 of those goals against Real Madrid. Lewandowski, 16 goals on Force 9. He's got the highest average rating as well. It seems like he's playing fairly well. Looking at some of the team stats, most possession, this is what we're here for, 62% for Barcelona. We've also got the highest pass completion, 89%. We don't have the most shots for or the fewest shots against. We come second in both of those areas there, but looking at the clean sheets and fewest conceded, it is Barcelona. Top goal scorer, of course, Lewandowski. The creative players, Marco Alonso, Sergio Busquets as well. Looking at the most key passes, Gavi, my guy. Best pass completion, Ter Stegen there. Most tackles won, nobody there. Most dribbles made, Ferran Torres. Clean sheets, Ter Stegen. Fewest conceded, Ter Stegen. The XG table is looking very healthy. We scored 35 goals. The expected goals was 26, 34 points, and expected to be first, and that is exactly where we are. Our shooting is very clinical. We are aggressive as well going forward. Looking at the movement, we have made a lot of dribbles, but we have also been very reliable in possession. Looking at the possession, we infrequently win the ball. I'm guessing so because we are always in possession of the ball, and again, we have been reliable in possession. Also, looking at the passing, we have completed a lot of passes, and we have also been, well, the most accurate team with our passes, with their passes in the league. And looking at the pass map as well, we can see just how beautiful this is. So that's the results at Barcelona. Now let's go to Spain, look at the results, but also play a game with Spain as well. Let's go. The results at Spain: we won the FIFA World Cup. We beat England 2-1 in the final after extra time. We did have 67% of the ball against England, completing 864. Not quite the 1,000, but I would happily take 800 passes completed in Football Manager. We won because of a Sergio Ramos penalty. But looking at the tournament stats, we scored the most goals, we had the most shots for, the fewest shots against, not in the top 8. Most possession, we come third with 65%, just 1% behind Argentina and the Netherlands. Pass completion ratio as well, 90%, so on par with Argentina and Germany. Most dribbles made, Spain in third. Most tackles won, Spain joined fourth. Most clean sheets, Spain in second, and fewest conceded, Spain not in the top 8. Top goal scorers, Pedro, 35-year-old Pedro with 7 goals. Assists, nobody there. Most shots for, nobody there. Most man of the match, Iago Aspas is actually there. Thiago as well. Most key passes, nobody. And that is all the key statistics all wrapped up. Now what we can do is play a game for Spain. So the first game, we're going to actually rewind. When the crowd say bowl, selector. I believe we're going to go back to the World Cup second round, so where we played Canada. We won 3-0 the first time. Can we repeat that? Hopefully, because we had 74% of the ball in that game. Hopefully, we can repeat that. Let's go back to Canada. Here's Jose Gaya with a free kick out wide. Laporte, it's 1-0 to Spain. And it's come from a set piece. It's come from a set piece, an unlikely way for Spain to score a goal, but here we are, and that's what it is. The VAR is goal checking, and goal has been awarded. I would have been surprised if that was called off, because I'm not exactly sure for what. So it's 1-0. Oh, where's the net? There's no net. Here's Cesar Azpilicueta with a throw-in on the right-hand side. Throws it to, he's looking for Pedro. Lovely touch by Pedro. It's Thiago inside the box, but it's driven over the bar. Here's Jose Gaya now, collects the ball. He's looking down the line, but is intercepted by the Canadian winger. He drives inside to Rodri. Rodri to Pedri. Pedri now comes to Thiago. Rodri, Pedri. Lovely triangle inside the central midfield. He finds Ansu Fati, and that's 2-0. That's a beautiful goal for Spain. Lovely triangle in the central midfield, and the ball finds his way to Ansu Fati, replicating Dani Olmo, and that movement of getting in behind. We got it. We got it. Lovely triangle here between Rodri, Pedri. Is it Rodri and Pedri? Pedri, sorry. Thiago and Rodri, and it finds Ansu Fati in the end, and he buries off the move. I mean, we're 25 minutes in. Spain have had 80% of the ball. Ridiculous. We are slowly approaching half-time, kind of, 10 minutes left, but we are now going to build up from the back. Here's Laporte. He can play it out wide here. He just chooses to kick it long to Ansu Fati. Not exactly sure why he's done that. That's the wrong option, but Rodri collects the ball. Here's Marco Asensio. He's going to drive wide, but he stops and plays it back to Pau Torres. We go again. Here's Cesar Azpilicueta. Pau Torres. Oh, lovely ball to Ansu Fati, I think. Yes, it is. And, he's lost it, but he gets it again. He's going to pass it into the box. There's Pedri, and he's hit the crossbar. He's absolutely smashed the crossbar. Spain are piling on the pressure, as it says in the commentary. Here is Thiago. Plays it to Laporte. Laporte back to Unai Simon. Plays it to Pau Torres. He holds up and plays it to Azpilicueta safely. He's going to progress to the ball slightly. Here's Rodri. Rodri over the top looking for Asensio. Asensio knocks it down for Pedro. Lovely football by Spain. Controlled football from Spain. And it is now Espanyol 3, Canada 0. It's another lovely goal. Here's Cesar Azpilicueta. Rodri on the ball. Plays it over the top to Marco Asensio. Pedro runs onto it and slots it in. 3-0 to Spain. So it's half time. We've had 11 shots. Canada have had 5 actually. So not quite the Costa Rica game that we saw when Costa Rica had no shots at all. XG 1.14 and the possession. Well, we've completed 78% possession. Keep it up, boys. Dominated. Keep it up. I think we can also praise the boys out here as well. Just look at this little link up here between the centre-back and the right-back. Cesar Azpilicueta, of course, not progressing so far ahead of play. He's in a nice position to keep receiving the ball from the centre-back quite clearly. So I want to do something. I think I'm smart. I think I'm Pep Guardiola. Now, I believe Canada are going to push. I'm actually going to pass into space to try and exploit any space created. This way, we might actually drop numbers when it comes to possession, but at the end of the day, we want to score some lovely goals. Here's Osorio, close him somewhat. Oh, why? Just close him. Why has he stood still inside the box? So we didn't manage to score any more goals. The game actually ended 3-1 to Spain, and yeah, it was a good performance. We got to saw some nice footballing goals. Unfortunately, that wraps up the video from me, but what I am going to do, I'm not just going to leave it like that. As well, for the outro, I'm just going to play some goals, some highlights, a few goals here and there that we scored using this tactic. I will see you guys soon. Stay safe, God bless, and peace out. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button with your notification bells on, and also leave a comment. I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe, God bless. Toodles!